Yeah, g'day, Mark here. Now a couple of years ago I made this nice bench to go along with my table saw, but it really showed up just how bad my old bench now looks. Between the crappy old door lying on top of it and the mess of tooling underneath it, it's about time I did something to pimp this bench. Now the first part of this project was to make up some slides under this area to mount some Euro boxes, and I already covered that in a previous video. The framing for those slides was also just made out of various bits of scrap timber. Right, now that I've got my storage drawers finished, the next thing I need is a tabletop on here, and I need to make it with scrap timber, and I want it to be the same height as my existing bench. So I've collected up all of my scrap timber and some legs of an old bench, and I need to strip all this wood down to slightly more than this height and then start laminating it. So for each bit of timber, I'll find the nicest edge, call that the top. I'll joint that edge. Then cut it all parallel to slightly thicker than I need it. Those boards were then glued up into beams 3 wide, so it'll still go through the planer. I've now finished laying up all of my slabs. So now we can start putting them through the planer and thicknesser. Now it obviously still needs to go through the thicknesser, but I find it easier just to knock down the worst of the unevenness with the jointer before I start thicknessing. Each time I use this machine, I think I should do something for dust control, and then I don't. And then I use it again and think I really should do something about dust control. Right, now we're ready for final glue up. It'd be a lot easier to do this if I had a few more longer clamps, but I don't, so I just use ratchet straps. Okay, that's now dried overnight. Since this new top's going to look a lot better, it'd be kind of a shame to bolt it down to that existing base with all the paint stains and stuff on it. So let's have a go at cleaning that up a little. Oh darn, that was pretty careless. Guess I better buy a new cord for this. The new top came out pretty flat, so it only took a wee bit of work with the plane to knock down the glue joints between the slabs. That was a mistake. I was supposed to put this piece further back to line up with here. Because of that mistake, the bench is going to end up about an inch shorter than I was planning. Oh well. Right, to fasten the top, I've got these kind of plates which slot in here and get screwed onto the top from below. Luckily getting in underneath and installing those 6 plates is kind of like a yoga session. Just to fill in the various defects on the surface, I've just got a bit of the sanding dust. I'll mix that with some shellac and try and use that as a sort of a sanding sealer filler sort of thing. Not sure how well that sort of thing works, but we'll soon see. I'm not going to go crazy on finishing this thing. It's only scrap timber and it's going to get beaten up and covered in paint overspray and stuff like that over time, so I'll just slop on a couple of coats of shellac. I'm pretty happy at how little of the spilt bucket of green paint is still visible in the final product. Right, well I think that's a pretty decent improvement compared to what I had before. It's nice to use up all that scrap wood that was getting in the way as well. Thanks a lot for watching.